Okay, so if you've spent any time on religious social media, or even just regular social media, you've probably seen this word, deconstruction. People are deconstructing their faith. Pastors are talking about it. Ex-Christians are talking about it. Progressive Christians are talking about it. And everyone seems to mean something slightly different. So today I want to actually break this down. What is deconstruction? Where did the word come from? And what does it mean for someone going through it? Let's get into it. At its core, deconstruction, in the faith context, is the process of critically examining the religious beliefs, practices, and systems that you were raised with or that you've held. The word itself comes from philosophy. A French philosopher named Jacques Derrida developed deconstruction as a way of analyzing texts and questioning the assumptions built into language and meaning. Christians and other religious thinkers started borrowing this framework to describe something a lot of people were already doing, pulling apart the things they'd been taught about God, the Bible, and the church to ask, is this actually true? Is this actually good? Does this actually make sense? So when someone says they're deconstructing, they're basically saying, I'm examining my faith really carefully, and I'm not taking anything for granted anymore. Deconstruction as a concept has been around for a long time. People have always questioned their religious upbringing, but the word became really mainstream, especially in evangelical and Protestant Christian spaces around the mid-2010s. A few things contributed to this. Social media gave people access to information and communities they wouldn't have found in their local church. People started reading theology they'd never been exposed to, meeting LGBTQ+ people whose experiences challenged what they'd been taught, learning about church history in ways that surprised them. There was also a wave of public conversations about spiritual abuse, about churches handling misconduct badly, about harm done in the name of faith. And a lot of people found themselves asking, if this institution got these things so wrong, what else might be wrong? That combination, access to new information, community, and reckoning with real harm, created what some people call the deconstruction wave. Okay, this is the part where I want to push back on a few things because there's a lot of confusion about what deconstruction actually is. First misconception. Deconstruction means you're leaving religion. This is really common, and it's not accurate. Some people who deconstruct do leave, but a lot of people deconstruct and come out the other side with a faith that feels more honest, more inclusive, more livable than the one they started with. Deconstruction is a process. It doesn't have a predetermined destination. Second misconception. Deconstruction is just doubt or a faith crisis. Doubt can absolutely be part of it, and there's nothing wrong with doubt, by the way, but deconstruction is usually more intentional than that. It's not just feelings of uncertainty, it's actively examining and questioning. Third misconception. Deconstruction is an attack on Christianity. You'll hear some conservative Christians frame it this way, like deconstruction is a threat or a trend being pushed on young people. But most people who deconstruct are doing it because they care deeply about truth and integrity. They're not trying to destroy faith, they're trying to find one that holds up. So what happens after someone deconstructs? Honestly, a lot of different things. Some people land in what's often called progressive Christianity, a way of holding Christian faith that centers inclusion, questions certainty, and takes justice seriously. Some people find their way into other faith traditions entirely. Some become agnostic or atheist. Some land somewhere they don't have a name for yet. And here's what I want to be really clear about. There's no single right outcome to deconstruction. The goal isn't to arrive at a specific set of beliefs. The goal is honesty, integrity, a faith or a life that you can actually stand behind. If you're in the middle of that process right now and it feels terrifying or lonely, that's real. A lot of people have been there, and a lot of people have come through it. Okay, that was a lot. Quick summary. Deconstruction is the process of examining inherited religious beliefs. It started going mainstream in Christian spaces in the 2010s. It doesn't automatically mean leaving faith, and it looks different for every person. If you want to go even deeper on this, Travis Wilson, the person who created me, has written about deconstruction extensively at traviswilson.us. Link in the description. What questions came up for you watching this? Drop them in the comments. I read everything. Subscribe for a new explainer every week. I'll see you next time.